Nothing's gone live yet. Well, now it is, but now it's saying... Hold on, let me refresh.
I should be. I just pressed like go live.
Yeah, no, but it came up with the old one. Oh, there we go. Now it's on. Cool. Testing my microphone. Mic.
Check.
Rhys.
Check.
Right, we're all here. Lovely.
Beautiful. Ah, it's not showing up on mine. Ah, shit.
What a lovely little match graphic we've got there. Was that the handiwork of our good pal Richard Hughes?
It was not this time. It was the handy little work of myself when I was bored earlier.
Ooh, many congratulations on that fine piece of artistry.
I made it try and look as 90s as possible.
The tapestry of Bayonet can go fuck itself. This is art.
Do you mean the Bayer tapestry?
It's something like that.
The tapestry of Bayonet is what Broken Matt Hardy would call the Bayo tapestry, to be fair.
That's fantastic. Okay.
The tapestry of the Bayonet. I can't believe we're 5 minutes in and we are already discussing the Bayo tapestry.
I just lost it when Matt Hardy went British out of nowhere, and he was like, "You are a hole of the arse."
A hole of the arse.
Oh, come on. Come on, Twitch.
Come on, Twitch. Oh, I did it. I just came third in a pub quiz.
Way.
Nice.
Thank lads.
Sorry, it's not showing. Damn you, Twitch.
Damn you, Twitch. Oh, I just realised something. What I can do. I haven't got to sit here and just listen to the melodic sounds of the PlayStation music. I'm watching this on We will be starting soon, so please join us.
Whenever I can get on Twitch.
Twitch.
It's just not showing on my PS4.
How curious.
It'll be a struggle.
The Curious Cakes. Oh my god. The Curious Case. Curious Case of Mike's PS4.
I love them Curious Cakes. Them cakes, they be curious.
There's a curiosity killed the cake.
Right. We'll start. People that have joined in, we'll start doing playthroughs in about 10 minutes. Just letting everyone get involved. Jump on! As I lean down because I'm old to pick up my charger.
People that have joined in and not me. Oh, Twitch, come on. Stop playing games with my heart.
Quit playing games with his heart.
There he is. I got it, mama. I got it.
He's done it. Climb the ladder, kid.
Damn it.
Make yourself famous. The prediction is just gone up on TWM.news, so while you're watching this, if you can do two things at once, feel free to go and read the excellent predictions from the fantastic Shailene on TWM.news.
Come on, Shailene. No, wrong one.
I did
Should we have a little run
do
through?
I did do a hilarious comedy funny on a pub quiz, but I'll talk about it later. Yeah, let's do a run through. So we're going to go through all the matches on NXT TakeOver. There are six matches.
Quite long for a takeover card, right? Normally it's just the 5.
Yeah, they've gone long boy on this one, and one of them is pre-recorded, to be fair. So should be a bit of a long haul Lenny Broadway. Lenny Broadway, yeah.
Long haul Lenny Broadway. What a man.
What a man. So yeah, we're going to go through all these matches. Naturally, the 6-woman tag, we're going to make a tornado because otherwise we'll literally be here all night. So come get involved, come join us as we go through stuff and things.
Did we find a suitable replacement?
Oh, what, for Reina Gonzalez?
Well, I wasn't going to spoil it.
Yes, I have. It's someone that looks like her but has like a Japanese name, so you can't even see who it would have been anyway.
Oh,
nailed it.
Close enough.
As in, like, when I say like a Japanese name, I mean it's in like Japanese characters.
That's fair. That's fine. Does the job. Does exactly what it says on the third tin.
Should we open with that match? I think that would be a good match to.
It's probably going to be the opener, to be fair. So it would make sense.
But I'll get to setting up then.
Please set up while we're
Ooh. Do you need any reminding of the participants in tonight's first bout?
I may need reminding of who is on which team. I remember who's in it, but...
So, the teams that are doing a fight, you've got... On one team, you got Candice. Actually, we'll do the face. You got Shotzi, Mia, and Tegan.
Nixon.
Oh yeah. Tegan, Steph, Nixon, whatever you're going to call her.
Luchadora the Explorer.
And then on the other side, you got Candice, King Kota, and Reina Gonzalez. This is going to be fun because there's going to be a whole match where it's just going to be me and Mike just telling abuse of one another with Dakota Kai and Tegan on opposite teams. So. I hope everyone's well. Everyone's keeping safe, staying inside. We know literally this week has been an absolute madness just for everything all concerned, but we thank you for choosing time to just hang out with us. Just to watch some guys being dudes. Thank you to Kurt in SX, or XS, sorry, for the follow. Much obliged. Thank you very much.
Big shout out there.
Much love.
He deserves it. Clap, 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 clap.
Thing is, I've realised I'm listening to music and I'm going to start singing along to it. I've got an easy listening 90s again. But full disclosure, I watched the stream from my laptop because if you watch it on the Twitch app on the PS4, it's a few seconds. It's even further behind than it is if you watch it on through this, and we haven't figured out how to try and watch it on time because we're not all in the same place. So I put music on, so I'm not just listening to the PlayStation music over and over again. But the problem is, I can't help myself to not sing along to whatever is on in the background.
And I just can't seem to help myself sing to music in the background. At
the moment, Breakfast at Tiffany's Deep Blue Something. My Deep Blue Something is on. So.
Absolute tune.
Said I think I remember the film. I'm 30 years old and I'm really hammering it home by my choice of music.
Who
listening to the best hardcore crap, but alas, I'm listening to that.
Who? Oh, Raquel Gonzalez, right?
Yes, it's Reina Gonzalez. Yeah, it's her old name. That's
Big
old.
Steve.
Big Steve.
Yeah, Big Steve. No, it's not Hot Steve. It's Big Steve.
Big Steve. Big Steve or Hot Steve.
Oh, this is it. There she is.
I wonder who that could have been.
Well, you couldn't tell the difference, right?
Yeah. Well, this the first one was like an all-black attire. If Raquel Gonzalez does a splash, I think I'm a feeling I know who that is. Just saying.
Well, I guess like there wasn't a character for her. Like I don't know. I don't know who she is, to be fair. She just kind of appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, she was in wrestling and Evolve a lot as part of like their deal, and then she just reappeared. True story. During their street fight, Tegan and Dakota's excellent street fight at the last takeover. I lost my mind, shouting, "Oh my God, it's Indy Hartwell!" and then didn't realise that it was far too tall to be Indy Hartwell. I was like, "Oh, it's Raquel Gonzalez." Because in my head, it made sense to put Dakota with like Indy Hartwell.
Alright.
Or did I go? No, I think my first shout was, "Oh my God, it's Steph DeLanda, who's not even signed with the company."
No.
Do you know
and
how?
then went, "Oh no, it's Indy." No way, it's someone else.
You know how you know that's a good joke is I don't know who any of those people are, but I still popped for it.
Like there are
It's all in the delivery.
Indy Hartwell is like the one that WWE got to be part of NXT, like one of the big stars, and then Steph DeLander's
The one that got away.
the one that got away, and he's working on the Indy stuff. She's like, she used to be Facebook. No, the team that made a former
yeah, with Instagram.
With Instagram, she was Facebook. I believe she was the last one to take the mask off from that team as well. She was Facebook for a while.
Well, Kyle had to take his off going through customs, so.
And then he got to Fight Club Pro, and Trent just went.
And then he was.
If no one's ever heard that story, it's an amazing story from like a besties interview with was it all of Shard? It was Schadenfreude, wasn't it?
Yeah, Schadenfreude, yeah.
And they just turn around and I think one of them explains what Carl's gimmick is, and Trent just goes, "I think I hate it." And his name was literally going to be a whistle noise. Yeah, so this match
Wouldn't
came
you
about.
thought they'd have asked about that beforehand?
Yeah.
It's just baffling.
This match came about because a lot of people don't like each other. Candice LeRae has gone full 2000 Stephanie McMahon and become a real brat, and Mia Yim isn't putting up with that shit, no siree. Tegan and Dakota hate each other because Tegan's a shitty friend. And Shotzi's backing up Tegan, and Raquel Gonzalez is backing up King Kota, so...
Rhys, you know how, like, you've had your ATL blowout?
Oh my God, nervous, like the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life, yes.
According to Dakota Kai, you're a shitty friend.
Yeah.
And that's my friends, the T.
In all fairness, I wouldn't be surprised if Mike at one point snapped him. just went to town on Rhys's knee. Would you put it past him? I wouldn't.
Ooh. I shudder at the thought of that.
And then someone really, really tall can put Rhys for a table during a street fight. Yeah. Adjust my audio next. There we go. So yeah, this match is going about. It was kind of just put together after they all brawled, after Dakota Kai took a flip bump on the concrete, because apparently when you're a heel, bumps just don't matter anymore, you just do mental stuff.
Doing it for the pop. Oh, well, I guess not.
Yeah.
The pop of 16 people in the PC. Sorry, it wasn't in the PC.
Standing up for 14,000 hours.
I didn't know that. The NXT was filmed at Full Sail this week and last week.
Was it Full Sail they filmed that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought they were just filming all of them.
I think they had set dates there that they had to do, so they filmed it.
Rhys, did you do this tornado?
I don't know.
Say you will, say you won't, say you will, I don't.
That is a...
C'est la vie.
Oh, Maya Yim is coming out to, whose music is this? Ify.
Mr. Impact Vlog, what's going on? Thanks for joining us on our little playthrough and predictions.
Well, Mr. Impact Vlog, what do you think of the EC3 video reveal? It shows that he's the person from that vignette from Slammiversary. Very intrigued to see what you think about that.
Or is he though, or is he just teasing it to,
This is what I thought. I thought that video meant that he was flat out saying that he's not the guy.
I don't think he's that guy, but he is a guy going back, in my opinion.
So if he's going back, I think if he goes back, he's not going back as EC3. He's going back under a different one.
Like Steve Roderick of 48.
He's going to go back as,
free?
That's a good point. He's saying he's seeing these two things. Either he's calling Impact out for clickbait or he's confirming.
Well, you know, the three at the end, I was thinking, you know what that looks like? Is the Wolves logo, like that Eddie Edwards used to have, like, on his shoulder.
Yeah, that is true. He might be coming back as Derek Bateman and being like a serious wrestle boy.
Very intriguing.
I was thinking that logo thing, as much as there is EC3 as its name, but it's to signify 3 people.
Oh,
which I instantly thought of the Good Brothers.
Well, what's Tyrus up to these days? You know, oh, thank God it is Tony.
No, I thought you were saying, oh God, and then you realised that what happened with Tyrus.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened to him?
Yeah, probably shouldn't.
Oh, okay.
All I'll say
is it bad?
Tyrus got cancelled.
Oh, okay. I was not aware of that, but I'm glad you brought it to my attention.
I do believe that we brought up...
Triple T.
It was news that we broke off on TW.News many moons ago.
It was.
Yeah, but...
Getting that hot scoop.
I would love if EC3 debuted with the Good Brothers. It'd be great. Anyway, I'm talking about Impact at the moment, because the big news would be that they've re-released the Alex Shelley Paparazzi shirt. So thanks to Mike telling me, he's made me spend another 30 quid on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, but before you do it, tell me.
And of course,
tell you
we
so I can order something as well and save on the postage instead of paying like £9 on postage.
Kayfabe, brother, I'm gonna order it literally after we finish this.
Oh, no.
And as we see action from the NXT Women's Division, could we possibly see a new addition to the NXT Women's Division with Impact making that announcement regarding the Impact title? What do you think about that?
We spoke about this on Best of the Rest yesterday. Me and Kimber talking about this, and I said like there's the rumours of her going to AEW, or I don't think she'll go to NXT.
Oh, I know. I'm just stirring the pot.
Yeah, I know that. And I'm trying to think of she won't go to NXT. And I think it would probably be more. And also, I imagine that her attitude probably doesn't help the fact, because if she was going to be kept on, she would have been kept on post Mae Young Classic. And we do know that old Tessa B does have a bit of an attitude problem. So I think they've announced. I imagine they're going to announce that she's been stripped of the belt, and they've done something in the last set of tapings to alleviate that.
They've rebranded as TNA, and Moose is now officially the champion.
I wouldn't be shocked if they're going to do a thing. They'll have. Thing is, that would be weird though, because it'd be heel versus heel. They'll have Ace versus Moose, and the winner would be the new champion.
That is a bit weird.
It should be Ace versus Elgin for the title. Yeah, but Moose has a.
God.
But also, Moose has a weird grasp. The fact he could be like, well, technically, I've defended this belt. It is a world championship, therefore, it's a strange one. It is a strange one. But then again, you can't really blame Tessa for not being there.
Is he even lineal champion? Moose. Who was the last
I genuinely
TNA champion?
He's my champion.
Champion of all of the Canadian people.
Who was the last TNA champion before they changed over?
It would have been like Lashley or
Oh God, it's
someone, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not long nailed it. It's El Patron. So.
Oh, no.
Well, he's not that anytime soon, is he?
No. On like, it's just one of those things. Anyway, me, Mike, and Joe discussed this actually on Thursday because me and Mike have been over all of the pods over the last few days.
We talk too much.
We never shut up. We were talking about how like NXT are the only. I would say well, actually no, probably Impact are the only place in WWE that actually has an active women's mid card, and this is it. This is the women's mid card. Because the main event is you have Rhea, your Io, and your Charlotte, and then this is their mid card. Then they've got everyone underneath like Chelsea, like Aaliyah, etc., etc.
Although Chelsea could be in the main event right now if she wanted. If she didn't fire the Robert Stone brand, what is she thinking there?
She got an advance of how bad he did in the fighting games.
Mate, but the Robert Stone brand is a marketing genius, and I will not hear otherwise.
Have you signed with the Robert Stone brand?
In my dreams, yes.
Signed with the Robert Stone brand.
It's a very exclusive agency.
Actually, we're talking about thoughts on Candice as a heel. We spoke about it on Twitter. What do you guys think of? I think she's working really. It's one of those ones I would never expect Dakota Kai to be that good of a heel, but she's done really, really well, and Candice has done really, really well as a heel.
Yeah, I love it.
Enjoyed it. I like the fact that she changed the gear up completely as well. It's made a real big difference to her character.
Massively, like it works really, really well. Like I said, she's reminded me a lot of like a 2000 because she's not gone coward, she's not gone vicious heel, she's not gone like crazy heel. She's gone bratty heel, like Stephanie McMahon. Like the facial expression she's making is like a very like bratty, spoiled.
My husband's a drug dealer. Look.
They do like thing is like if you look at them, they do come off like every goody two shoes or like every annoying like next door neighbor married couple, which works really, really well in their favour. So,
but I'm still confused why she kicked Johnny in the balls.
No, he was wearing a cap.
He was wearing a cap, yeah.
Oh right, okay. So it was just like a like a mind game thing.
It was it was to dick on. It was a dick on Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, quite literally.
Yeah, not in the dick zone.
Lured him into a false sense of security.
CUP. I want to see. Oh, this could be it. Oh.
Ooh, it's a 2 count.
Only the nearest of near falls.
I always find it funny how Tegan's got like a karate stance. Just looks really weird.
Well, she hung out with Shay a fair bit, so
that's a fair point, guys.
She's probably burst in the early statuses of Shayfield.
She has been under that learning tree. That particular tree is in Butte Park, probably.
Mr. Emerald asked about the kidnapping angle. Basically, they're doing a thing where they're making it look like El Hijo del Fantasma isn't the leader of this heel faction, but he is.
No, he is,
the heel faction always
not wearing the mask. That's the beauty of it.
It's one of those things, we speak about this a lot, about how storylines can be good and predictable, but sometimes storylines can be too predictable, so therefore they're bad. So it's like this one, it's like, I'm intrigued by it, but I know where it's going. Like, I even said before the start, I went, Phantasma's winning the belt, and then he's going to turn heel and remove the mask, and he'll go back to being Jorge Bolli, or whatever his name was, and he'll have the heel team stick. Yeah. He'll have Joaquin and Raul Gonzalez. Raul Gonzalez?
Raul Mendoza.
Raul Mendoza.
Oh,
and there it is.
There was a pinfall on top of that, and then Dakota Pele on top of the pinfall. He'll win. He'll pick up a win at the beginning of the night, not the end of the night.
Miriam's absolutely shagged.
She's knocked out. Everyone's. But have either of you watched SmackDown this week?
Well, I did because I recorded Smack Talk.
Yeah, you watched
this
podcast,
morning.
didn't you? Were you incredibly confused by the referee thing? Sorry, I've had a lot going on today.
The referee thing. Very confused because it's like that referee thing. Okay, if it was legit, it was filmed on Tuesday, so they could have just reshot it. Yeah, and if it wasn't legit, then what the hell was that all about?
I do feel like sometimes WWE do stuff just to do stuff, so it like makes it look like. So basically, if you didn't see it, Mike, for you if you haven't seen it, in the middle of the match between Sonya Deville and Natalya, Sonya rolls up Lacey Evans and like bowls into the referee, and the referee just goes down clutching his knees like, no, we need a new ref, I'm injured. They just go to break, and then the match carries on as normal. There's no like heel advantage. There is, like, Sonya does like tackles down Lacey Evans when she's distracted, but it's like during the break, so it wasn't like part of the finish. They just did it for the sake of doing it. It was really weird.
But there's no. I think you've got to give it at least another week. Just see if something does come from it. Because I think that's one thing we kind of do in general now is, if we don't get an immediate payoff to something, I think people get very angry about it and go, "Why haven't I got the? Where's my payoff? Where's the immediate payoff to it?" You know, and it's a story, so you're not going to get necessarily that bit. They'll call back to it, and people always complain that they don't call back to stuff. So
I'm intrigued by it. It just was really, really weird.
I kind of wonder if it's just something they've thrown in, just like, you know, to get people talking and to get people making some memes and just to push the SmackDown hashtag during the show. Maybe it's like something as simple as that.
We are doing a snap that Mr. Income Lobby is very much excited about, and I'm intrigued by it too. Karrion Kross,
sexy dancer lady,
Tommaso Ciampa. What a debut for Kross. Pay-per-view debut to go up against arguably the biggest star in NXT in Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, and you've got to think as well, he's probably winning this as well. Like, you don't really lose on your debut.
I had a very interesting...
Didn't Karrion Kross already wrestle Leon Ruff?
No, he had wrestled, but I think this is his TakeOver debut.
No, but you said he was wrestling the biggest star in NXT. And I thought he'd already wrestled it.
Leon Ruff is Evolve's biggest star, it's not NXT's biggest star. He's wrestling's biggest star, Leon Ruff.
He's immune to the I forget what it's called, like the wildcard rule, but not the wildcard rule. He's been on SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and Main Event in the past couple of months.
I don't say that about Charlotte. We're talking about Charlotte Flair. The fact that she can just do whatever she wants for the NXT champion. So why is it Adam Cole on everything?
You know what it is? Someone explained this. Well, they tried to explain it. Charlotte is a Raw superstar, but is NXT champion, so she can appear on both of those. And then she's been appearing on SmackDown then as part of a 4 times a year thing.
Yeah, it's just weird. Very, very strange. Anyway, let's do this.
They could be really creative with that story. Yeah, I'll give them that.
They could. Let's talk about Karrion Kross and Tommaso Ciampa. I'm
looking forward to this.
I am very intrigued by this, because I reckon it could be... there was a very good point raised on Cultaholic about this, where they were talking about... with one of them mentioned, they said that they reckon they could see like a Cena-Lesnar style booking, where like Kross just... Like, it's not like a 30-second squash, but Kross like dominates the entire thing.
I can see that.
And it'd be a good way to like write off Ciampa for a little bit, and maybe even have him turn up on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't see that happening. I think Ciampa's just going to be in NXT.
I reckon he's going to stay there, they'll probably just next. I don't think they're going to move him on to Raw SmackDown, just probably,
well, you've got to ask the question, like, going forward, once things open back up, like, how many house shows are going to be actually going to be running? Because they lose so much money on house shows that, like, it's not even worth it for the merchandise sales. Because they'll pick up a decent percent of that through online sales, so...
Yeah, but the thing with the house shows is, like, you know, you'd like them to be profitable, but if they're not, then, you know, even if you're making a slight loss on running them, you're still getting a ton of kids, like, coming to watch your show who, like, you can convert into fans who are then going to, like, support your product for years to come, so it's like...
But they'll probably do less, as in, like, I could see them doing maybe, like, one big house show a month. Like they could do like an MSG or like a big Canadian house show.
Insurrection.
And they do the European tours where they make loads of money then. Or maybe they're just going to spam the international tours instead of doing house shows.
Well, I'm sure the last quarter, not the first quarter of this year, the last quarter of last year, that they reported
now.
I'm sure they lost something like $2.5 million just on the house shows, and that's a lot of money. That adds up big.
Yeah,
they have started losing, like that's for certain. They definitely have started losing money on it.
Can I
I think it's because they just don't they don't make them interesting. Well, that's my opinion.
I was gonna say, can I talk about a match that I would really, really like to see? Which is
it Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa?
That is one of them. It's Karrion Kross versus Leon Ross again. No. I really want to see at one point. I would love it to be the feud after his greatest wrestling match. I would love to see Ciampa against Edge.
Oh yes.
It'd be really, really good.
You know how sometimes like you don't realise you need a match until someone says it, and you're like, yes, yes.
Yeah, I reckon the promos would be really, really good between Edge and Ciampa.
They've both got like those eyes as well. They just like stare into a distance, like don't trust me.
Yeah,
like almost like I've been a horrendous person in the past. I will fuck you up if you're given half the chance.
But they could have him turn up, and you could even have Edge do the thing of like, I went down the route you went down, like the by any means necessary, win at all cost thing, and it cost me my career. And he could be like, and he could probably say to him like, you've had your one chance with your neck and your back. Don't take the same risk I did. Like, it's so much scope for it potentially. But anyway, this should be really, really good. This is clearly a match that's meant to elevate Kross rather than Ciampa, to be fair. So
I think it's going to be a lot more technical than most people realise it's going to be.
I reckon it's going to be very, very hard hitting. I'm very worried about Ciampa taking the Doomsday Saito though.
No, he's changed how he delivers that now.
He's doing it more WWE-ified.
Yeah, so he's always thrown him down, the Saito landing on the... if he's got the right shoulder against... If Kross has got their right shoulder against him, normally they would land on the back of their right shoulder and their neck, whereas now they're actually fully rotating and landing on the left shoulder. Like the outside of the left shoulder, so there's like no contact with the neck or head area.
Oh, jeez.
And big Dominator.
Shades of a young Farouk. By the way, as much as I love Karrion Kross, and I love Scarlett as well, and I hope that she ends up doing more, I hope they do integrate her into the women's division, which she's a good wrestler as well.
She is actually a genuinely good wrestler. She pulled a good match out of Disco Inferno, let's leave it there.
This is true. And never forget, this Impact, remember this, who was the pioneer, who started the intergender wrestling revolution Impact? It wasn't Tessa, it was Scarlett. Scarlett started it, and then Tessa took over when Scarlett left.
Sexy dancer lady.
Scarlett could be Impact World Champion at this point.
I think that's a bit of a reach.
Because Don Callis and Scott D'Amore loved Scarlett, and they were going to push her to the moon.
Really? Don Callis loved Scarlett Bordeaux? That's almost as shocking as Vince McMahon loving Scarlett Bordeaux.
That is brand new information.
I am genuinely shocked by this.
Can they please stop doing the entrance with the miming the song? Can they just get rid of that, please?
Oh, big spear.
I'm not a bit. I don't know about you guys. Are you a big fan of that at all?
I haven't actually seen it, to be honest.
When you see it on TakeOver, it's just it looks really like all of it's great. Just the mouthing of the stuff for me is really cringe.
I do think it's a cool entrance. Like I don't watch NXT. Is this it? Oh, I don't watch it every single week, but I would probably watch it like 3 out of 4 weeks. So I only saw it like the other week, and when I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is well awesome. But that was my first time seeing it, so we'll see how it holds up. Like when you have to see it every single week, like Bobby Roode's Glorious. First couple of times you see that, you're like, oh, this is incredible, and then after a while, you're just like, oh yeah, it's this again.
Can we get over with it now?
it's like Finn Balor's entrance. It's like, I imagine going and seeing it live. Like I've seen Finn Balor NXT do his entrance, and it's really really cool. But then I imagine after like seeing it every week on TV, the novelty wears off.
Did you go to TakeOver London, Matty?
I did.
Oh, nice.
Me, Joe, and Dan did.
Lovely stuff.
We lost our voice. We lost our voice in the pre-show match.
You know,
we were cheering for Enzo.
No, that was the opener. The match had American Alpha in, and we were the crowd who started Gable, that one, and we lost our voices. And then also because Kim was there and she was at the front, because we and her got an Uber back from Wembley, because it was the traffic was the foot traffic into the thing was a nightmare. So one of us had a discount, so we ended up splitting a cab back to West Ham together. And she was really upset. She was like, "Oh, we can't learn, can we?" Because everyone was just like hurling abuse at Baron Corbin, but like the typical British abuse of like, it was 10 minutes of us just going, "You're shit, and you know you are." And she's like, "We're never going to get WrestleMania if this keeps happening." We keep just swearing all over WWE broadcast.
But like all the reaction I saw online, people loved it. People genuinely loved it, and it's like what people love about what the iconic night after WrestleMania crowds are all about.
Yeah, it was just funny. That's also the match for the infamous where Baron Corbin turned around to Apollo Crews and shouts, "Go back to Ring of Honor." Apollo Crews never worked in Ring of Honor. If he said PCW, then he would have been correct.
Guys, I have some good news. There are currently 5 Twitch streams streaming Fire Pro Wrestling, and we are the most viewed, so thank you everyone watching.
We're number one.
We're number one.
Thank you, Mr. Oh, with that news, Mr. Impact Blog is now hosting us. Thank you very much, sir.
What a legend.
What a sexy human being.
Two.
That was an Oshi-Goroshi.
Oh, 3. Yoshigoroshi. Ciampa gets the win.
It's probably not the result we're going to get, but according to Fire Pro, and that is the pinnacle.
It's that was it like not a walrus, that thing that swims around and predicts things.
The manatee in Family Guy.
Well, the one that writes the Family Guy script on South Park.
Yeah, that's the walrus that writes the Family Guy script, yeah. Pushing the ball into the thing.
No, the World Cup predicting. Oh, I don't even know anymore. The octopus, that's it.
The octopus that goes to the boxes, yeah. That's a reference, isn't it? Shit.
Love that. You got the Family Guy fucking walrus mixed up with all the octopus. Oh, banter.
Do you know, I saw one of those things.
Next week. Well, I'm getting football back next week. Week after, everyone else.
Yeah, I've been watching a bit of the Bundesliga, to be fair, but I don't know. Like, I know I defend wrestling without a crowd. I'm like, oh, it's not really that much different. But then football without a crowd is pretty different.
I agree, it is, but I like it down to the fact it's like it's a symbol of a step in the right direction. You know, that things are getting better and are moving back towards being how they used to be.
Yeah, it is, but I am quite fearful actually that it's a bit. I don't know. I'd kind of like there to be, you know, a day with 0 deaths in the UK before. I don't know. I'm just maybe like a bit cautious when it comes to, you know, to stuff like this. But
I get what you mean.
Also, I really like working from home every day and not having to go to the office.
I think at the end of the day, in my opinion, the key is testing properly, and I don't believe that's going to happen in the UK, but it does appear like what's being put in place in other countries. AEW as an example, you know, they have been testing everybody properly. They've not had any issues.
Although, did you see our report about WWE, like, apparently aren't testing anyone?
They are doing the temperature test, and that's it. All that means is you don't show any signs of it, which means you could still be asymptomatic. So you could have it. They may as well ask you when you walk up, like, to go in and, like, have you had a cold or a fever or anything in the last how many days? And if you say no, then they'll let you in. Yeah.
Which match are we going to do next?
I'll probably do the last non-title match, I would assume.
The Balor versus Damian Priest, I believe?
Yeah, Finn Balor versus Damian Priest, the match that I care the least about.
Well, I think this match is going to bang. Like, I think a lot of people, kind of sleeping on Damian Priest for matches he's been in. I saw him out of a match with Pete Dunne, I thought was fantastic. And
oh no, he's great. Like, they're both great. It's really, the build-up for this has been Finn Balor got twatted in the knee with a nightstick by Damian Priest, which cost a match against Cameron Grimes. They're now having a match.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, to be fair.
Matty, do you know what would make this match better?
Encouragement Martinez?
Exactly.
I knew you were going to make that joke. Cousin. Need his cousin.
I always preferred encouragement.
I don't know about anyone else. I'm not a massive, much like the novelty wore off with Balor in WWE. This new, I'm kind of like Fergal, but I'm saying shoot words, and I'm meant to be a heel, which was exciting. But now I'm back to being a face again because we need another face to face this person. I'm now just completely turned off Balor at all. I have no interest in him. This is like Hill Bailey. Actually, Hill Bailey's got better, whereas this Balor, now they've just gone, well, you can be face again.
The crowd would have supported him. The crowd wouldn't have been along with him. That's the problem.
It's just, I'm just not a massive fan of it, personally, but oh well, it is what it is.
Those damn Full Sail trainees cheering Balor.
Damn you, Balor.
Damn smarky Full Sail students.
But I've got a problem with, I was watching SmackDown, they've got loads of students they can use. They don't need to stick people that are actually on NXT TV in that crowd. To see that and watch, Chelsea Green, who's been, a big deal on NXT, doing the yes chants in the crowd. I'm like, you're basically going, well, the NXT kids, they're on TV, but they're just fans compared to the actual wrestlers here. Yeah, who do they got on TV?
That's one of the things I was complaining to Tom about recording the SmackDown the Smack Talk was I feel like it's a bit insulting as a fan that WWE have to have the crowd there doing these chants and stuff. It's almost like having a laugh track. It's like, right, this is how you're supposed to react to this. I find it quite insulting that they can't leave us to make our own mind up about things.
Most of the people in that crowd have never actually been fans at shows. There's pretty much only one, and that's Jessamine Duke. If you watch her, she's genuinely acting like a real fan because she is and has been a real fan at shows which aren't WWE. That's one of the problems.
I would argue that Shotzi's.
Yeah, but she has. She was on the show on NXT this week, and. Yeah, don't get me wrong, there are a crop of a few, but Jasmine Duke's in I've noticed, but again, not watching a lot of the product, and just sort of hearing bits and bobs about how the crowds are.
If you want a funny laugh, as opposed to a sad laugh, you want a funny laugh, watch the opening of SmackDown this week with Jeff Hardy and watch the amount of people that I'm going to call cretins doing the Jeff Hardy dance in the crowd. It is... One of them starts and they all start copying that person. And it's just it's so painful.
Did you see them doing the AJ Styles, the hoods reveal, wave your arms out to the side? That thing? They all went down and did that.
LED boards, and you could have just put the 2K20 crowd around and just on that. It would have...
Yeah, but as a 2K20... fans, they'd probably come out and mutate it or something.
And then what they could have done, they'd become sentient, like Tron. Then what they could have done is they could have just used the In Your House background for In Your House. By the way, there are rumours that they're going to do up the
it's supposed to be
like the old
full on
In Your House.
Are they going to give away a house though? That's what everyone wants to know.
Did you see that Todd Pettingill filmed a promo package for it?
Yes.
Yes.
Fucking brilliant.
I love
That
Todd
is
Pettingill
peak
so
my
much.
childhood. That is. As long as we get Todd Pettingill during the show trying to sell you a T-shirt while stood in the aisle, then that will genuinely just be at perfection. That will be in your house somewhere.
WWE had the technology. If they got, because if Todd's filmed that probably at home with a green screen, if they got Tom to do that, do you reckon they could hologram Todd Pettingill onto the stage, like hologram Tupac at Coachella? Anyway, let's start this match, and we'll chat more about hologram Todd Pettingill. Have you ever watched the best of In Your House DVD?
I've never seen the DVD, but that was peak me watching wrestling, so I've seen them all.
I've actually seen very little of In Your House other than the Bad Bloods, which I think is people forget even that was In Your House.
Yeah.
Actually, if you want a comprehensive list of the best In Your House matches, check out our 2-part article on pwm.news. But let's discuss it. Favorite In Your House matches, Mike. Let's start with you.
I can't remember. I can never remember which one it's from, but there's the Bret Hart Hakushi match. I always love that.
That's In Your House. That's the first In Your House, I think.
I think it's a couple in, not the first one. I think Johnny thinks coming in.
In front of us.
I love the Buried Alive match, which I think was In Your House 11. That seems to be
you got the one at Rock Bottom as well.
This was the Mankind Undertaker one.
Oh, the one where all the heels come out and then Undertaker flies away.
That's the way you get the hand through the and there was also the Canadian Stampede as a whole show.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
If you've not watched that show, go and watch Canadian Stampede.
It's fantastic. You'll understand why the Hearts are so revered, or how revered the Hearts are revered in Canada. And also, when you really want to know what being let down is, it's when Savio Vega is the fourth man. Oh god!
I bought that on tape, not knowing that Savio Vega replaced Shawn Michaels. It's when back in the day when I first got into wrestling, the convenience shop, they had a DVD, like a video, a VHS area that just had random WWF VHS. Didn't I just buy them? And I did have at one point No Way Out of Texas on VHS. Purely because it had Austin and Triple H on it. Some ones from later on. Breakdown. Owen versus Edge is really good.
Yeah.
The 2 out of 3 falls match between Rock and Triple H from In Your House, Fully Loaded, is really good as well.
Well, not necessarily the match, but who could forget the iconic moment of Big Show climbing up through the bottom of a ring and throwing Stone Cold out of a cage?
Stone Cold WrestleMania main event, yeah. And the Dungeon match as well. If I mentioned that, Owen versus Shamrock is really, really fun.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of random gimmick, did you see that Pete Dunne said he want to wrestle in the Fight Pit and he wants to specifically fight Brie Dango?
Oh, that's fantastic, guys. Of course, Pete wants to do that.
I thought he'd say Josh Bowden, but...
No, Ospreay's going to have that match. Andy Hughes going to book it for us.
Oh. God bless Crawfordism.
I'm going to give a shout out to Pete Dunne for re-releasing that popular T-shirt and donating all the proceeds
to the Freedom Fund. Yeah, no, it was awesome.
Yeah.
The thing is, again, there's another shirt that I really wanted, but I think I missed out on it. I think he stopped selling them. So.
Well, he started selling them again because basically he sold 2,000 of them and was like, right, this is going to be a struggle to get through. I have to stop. And then WrestleCrate stepped in to say they'd help the posting and stuff.
That's good. That's good. Don't worry, I've got another shirt that's going to be bought thanks to someone in here.
And actually, I think Mark Andrews and Eddie Dennis are currently selling a hat with all proceeds of donation. As well as actually Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster were selling that T-shirt for the NHS, as well as all the proceeds from Mark Spann Jr. Like sometimes, like a period like this, you can really see like who the good guys are, like in wrestling, you know.
And people crap all over NXT UK, and you see all the good that some of these guys are doing. They're like, we have like a lot of people. They say we've got our guarantee, or we've got our contracts that pay a certain amount of money now, so we can afford to do this and help out other people in need. And everyone just goes, well, you should be grinding on the indies like everyone else. It's like yeah, the people, like, help the people, don't help the companies. Me and Mike had a very long chat about a certain company where we were considering not giving them our patronage after a certain period of time, but we both said, like, we want to give the wrestlers the money that are going to be there. But if we can't see them anywhere else, then we will give the money to go and support these certain people.
CM Punk once, I watched an interview and he was on about how whenever he got to a certain stage that was like a step up, he wanted to help people up with him. Yeah, almost like use his platform to help guys get to places or be better looked after. And I think that's the principle. Those guys are getting annual salary every month. They know exactly what they're earning, with no real issues. You know, they know their jobs are safe at the moment because they know they're not going to close down NXT UK, and especially because things appear to be moving in the right direction in terms of opening stuff up and being able to do stuff. So, you know, they're using time, effort, resources that they've got to give back. You know, you see it, nobody really would badmouth a celebrity for doing something. And these are like, okay, they are like minor celebrities, but they're using their privileged position for good.
Can I just also point out in this match that Damian Priest, apart from them, has just been kicking the shit out of Finn Balor.
Yeah, he looks like he's starting to gas a bit now, though.
Yeah, I think he's got the old road to those techniques. He needs some encouragement, Martinez. Otherwise, he's going to be...
Have you noticed how referee Jessica Carr is moving around the ring significantly quicker than some of the referees we've seen on this game?
Very quick.
Yeah. He's just like some better rest for TWM wrestling.
Yeah. The scout out. We'll try and sign Jessica Carr on a permanent deal.
We need more Jessica Carrs and the Stigs and less Zordons.
I mean, Zordon is like, what, a million years old?
I know, but he shouldn't be in the position. Again, he was doing the old Brit wrestling, wasn't he? 1-ah! 2-ah!
I saw someone post it the other day. It could have been one of you guys, actually, but the referee counting while standing up.
Yeah, that's the old Brit rest way. I'm pretty sure Finn hit the coup de grace, and either he didn't hit, and he didn't count, or David Priest just no-sold the coup de grace and just got up. In Personal Jesus wants Priest to win, Mr. Impact said Balor to win, so it's evenly matched on this one.
Sounds about right. I think Balor should win this.
I reckon Balor's going to win. I reckon they're going to potentially build to Dream versus Balor, perhaps for the belt, because I know they were going to do it, and obviously it didn't happen. So
you'd have to think Balor is like, I know they sent him down to kind of, you know, help the up and coming talent, but like not necessarily like lose to them, but like,
yeah,
he's effectively on holiday at the moment, because he was carrying like 9 million injuries after SummerSlam last year. They gave him a set time off, and then obviously all the NXT stuff happened with going on TV, so they brought him back for that. They brought him back for that knowing he didn't have to do any travel loops, and only had to work like 1 day a week. So yeah, like that's why he's down there at the moment, like technically down there. But yeah, it was part of the agreement because he wanted time off, and they were like, "Well, we'll not necessarily give
big kick."
It's just John wooed the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah, and some kind of spinning enziguri thing.
Send guys down to NXT, give them some rest.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Who's an Argy? You're an Argy. Oh, wait, roll up!
Oh.
I mean, look at the wonders it did for Mesut Ozil in Arsenal reserves.
And that's who Finn Balor should be looking at, Mesut Ozil.
Coup de grace, that's got to be it. Oh no, Priest says not today.
I think we tend to forget, and we should always remember this. Never forget the clip of Finn Balor showing that you can have all the abs in the world, all the God-given gifts. He, as a man, can still embarrass his girlfriend in public, like he did drunk at the Champions League final last year.
While she was working.
While she was working for Fox Sports Mexico? Or Brazil.
Fox Sports Deportes.
Which is the Spanish-speaking Fox Sports, I imagine.
Who's his girlfriend? Like some kind of reporter, I imagine.
Yeah, she's like this. Like, it came out of nowhere. Like, he ended up like seeing all these photos. Although he very much like Liv Morgan and Tyler Bate, they just like this random Fox Sports woman just started commenting on all of this stuff, and then out of nowhere, it's like, oh, they're dating. Oh, they're engaged. Oh, they're married.
Oh, they're married.
They're married now.
Married.
Oh, geez, I had no idea.
When he took the time off, that was one of the reasons for he get married. I've actually met her when I was doing media with Inside the Ropes for SummerSlam 2016. She was there with Fox Sports. And weirdly, Finn Balor was there as well.
Shocking.
Who would have known?
Right, so we've got 3 more matches to do. I believe they're all title matches, so should we do let's do the North American title on first. Let's do, Don't You Forget About Keith Lee against, in Joe's words, the corniest motherfucker alive, Johnny Gargano.
I wasn't sure. Like, Johnny Gargano is one of those people who's like, he's such a face that like, how is he going to be a heel? Like, what do you think of him playing, acting the fool so far, playing the heel?
He reminds me of Sami Zayn. No one thought Sami Zayn would play a great heel, but what he does...
Oh, he's fantastic.
Because now, the thing is though, like Sami Zayn nailed it when he turned heel. I think he did an interview with Jericho, maybe, or someone else. And it might have been Corey Graves actually, I can't remember. And he turned around and he's like, now I'm a bad guy, all the things I did with the face that was endearing, it's like when you break up with like a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and the stuff you found cute is now really fucking annoying. So all the stuff he did as a face, he's just now doing as a heel, and it's now really, really annoying. It's great. I love it. He's like a little mix of... He's got his own, like... Because the thing that a lot of people forget, and I think Rhys, you might know, Mike definitely will, is that primarily, like in his early years, Gargano was a heel on the Indies.
Oh, is that true?
He was the whole shebang, the cat's pajamas. He was in Fist, wasn't he? With old Chuck Taylor and Icarus. And he was a heel, and he was a really good heel. And then he started gaining traction in AEW and became a face. And yeah, everyone forgets that he's a really like good cocky heel when he wants to be. Candice is obviously the Spider-Man. I don't think she's ever been heel. As far as I know.
She's always just looked too wholesome to be a heel.
Yeah. All she needs to do is turn emo. That's what happens.
Good. So it's always going
Can we have Drake Burt's rest this one?
Yeah, I'm just seeing. I think it is just Jessica Carr and Drake Wirtz I have from NXT fame anyway.
I just realised I'm not on camera anymore. I can take my hat off. I have a hat on while I see that.
I don't have the United, the North American title, so it's going to have to be for the IWGP United States title instead.
Well, if you rearrange the words IWGP, it spells NXT anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Also, this lineup of my current champions: so Roddy Piper's the IWGP champion, Ultimate Warrior's the Intercontinental champion, and Tyler Bate is the Never Openweight champion.
That's an interesting mix of people.
But who will be the United States champion, or the North American champion, if you will? Let's find out. Do we want? Should we have Candice and Maya as managers? But I'll do the setting so that they'll come and get involved in the match as well.
Yes.
I don't know how. Oh, run in. This is it. after what we saw on Wednesday. I don't think you can, actually. Not for title matches. Never mind.
That's just not acceptable.
This game is very strange in some ways. Although, luckily, because the women's title will be decided by triple threat, I have worked out how to do a triple threat on here.
Get it.
Nice.
Just what we need.
Yeah, you do a battle royal, but only put 3 people in it.
Nice. This is an interesting one, but again, also I should say this. It's weird that Johnny Gargano only goes to the North American title when he's here. Obviously, this is based off Candice LeRae pissing off Mia Yim, and the husbands getting involved. Obviously, Johnny Gargano stabbed people in the eye with his car keys on NXT this week.
I bet you there's going to be no selling of that.
Yeah, they're not going to mention that at all, even though he got stabbed literally in the eye with a car keys.
You know, it's not like Moxley wore an eye patch for 2 months.
That is a very good point, actually. I didn't think about that. He literally did it, the same thing.
Oh, across promotions as well.
Moxley also wore his eye patch. This is a brilliant story I just heard. So it happened before the Chris Jericho cruise. He wore his eye patch the whole cruise, so he was basically a pirate. I'd love to have seen that. That would have made my day so much.
A highlight of NXT this week was Keith Lee carrying both Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano to the ring, throwing Johnny Gargano into the ring, climbing the steel steps, walking to his corner, and then only realising that Candice LeRae was on his back. Oh wow. Jesus.
My highlight were those Keith Lee's trainers.
Yes, they were my highlight as well. They were beautiful.
Everyone's only cut that. He's been wearing them for ages now, those beautiful pink dandies. It's a lovely pair of trainers. His crap game is on point, is our Keith Lee.
I will quite happily bask in his glory.
Bask in his trainers. That doesn't even make sense.
Sneak in his glory. I don't know. I'm not really sure where we were going with this.
I'm on our Twitter, and someone's just followed us. Their handle. Oh no, they've been deleted. I think they might have had their thing. Their thing was called WWE Fuck AEW, and their bio was all AEW fans can suck it. It's just amused me greatly.
Brilliant.
By the way, so that thing you showed us, was that our account, or was that your account that got followed by the damn dirty dog?
Oh, it was my account. I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't know what. I think OJMO tweeted something at me, and I think because it happened seconds after that, so I can only assume that he saw that, and I don't know, to be honest.
You're a hot property, to be fair.
This could be it.
Oh, 29.
Early on in the match as well.
Early on in proceedings. Proceedings. You're gonna get...
That's it. Surely. No.
Oh. Again,
You're not getting paid by the hour in this match.
Just keeping kicking the crap out of Johnny Gargano. I imagine Gargano's going to get yeeted around a lot in this match.
Yeah. Hopefully off the house.
So in terms of... there it is again.
Another big bang catastrophe.
In terms of matches I'm looking forward to, this one, because in terms of in-ring work rate kind of ability, well, I don't know, this one and the Dream Cole, but this one, this could be a Meltzer 5-star.
Oh yeah, thing is, because obviously Gargano's a massive Shawn Michaels fan that's going to be in your house. Part of me hopes they do have the in your house set and they do the micro the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels Grand Zero. You know what? Undertaker just throws him through all of the windows in the house.
Oh, hopefully there's an actual ramp so he can do the Shawn roll down the ramp.
Oh, that's a really good match from in-your house, actually. The Ground Zero, obviously, because I remember the Hell in a Cell, the no contest Ground Zero between Shawn and Undertaker is really, really good. It's really fun.
It's mad to think how few times Shawn and Undertaker actually wrestled.
Yeah, I think it's 4 or 5.
Yeah, there's 2 WrestleMania matches, the 2 we've just mentioned. I think there was one random house show match.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if they'd wrestled a lot on the house shows, like in the 90s when...
No, I don't even think they'd wrestle on the house shows.
It's like also Triple H Undertaker. You got to think, I think they wrestled Shotgun Saturday Night, where Triple H took
got to run in.
Who is Adam Cole? Is Adam... When I turn run-ins on, it doesn't matter anyway, the match is over.
Adam Cole wants that North American title, I guess.
What was that all about?
You know what? Was that a miscue by Adam Cole? Do you think his match was coming up next?
He's just ready. He's just out ready. He's like, sorry, Mr. Lee, do you know where the parking lot is?
He's like, you seen Eurotrip? He's like, this isn't where I parked my car. I'm a bask in his glory.
I'm just literally just going to click that because that's genuinely amusing.
I think that's what we call the botched interference.
Jesus! That was quite a match, wasn't it?
Well, hopefully sign of things to come. Keith Lee has been... since... of course, we knew how good Keith was before he signed, but since signing, like, he's... he hasn't let us down, has he? He's been...
Yeah, he's exceeded all expectations.
And people are, like, really getting behind him as well. Like, he's just such a... If you've seen him in person, you know, like, so just what a lovable person he is. But, like, that translates to the screen as well.
Yeah, like, charm, charismatic, just...
He's
got pretty much everything. It's understandable why Vince likes him.
He's not bad for a town in Yorkshire, is he?
Nah, he's alright. He's alright. But even thinking about the match, do you remember that match you had with Omari at Fight Club, Rhys?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous, like so good.
Well, that was the first time I'd ever seen him. Actually, I didn't know who he was. I know like Fight Club had announced him as like some big kind of import, and I think you mentioned to me at the time that he was quite good, so I was like, okay, yeah, let's see. Didn't expect him to be like, well, first of all, like as big as he was. He's a huge, like, I know he looks big on screen, but when you see him in person, he's probably like a foot taller than you'd expect, and like a foot wider than you'd expect. Like he's a big guy.
He's the size of a fridge freezer.
And then also to be moving around like that match, I think he was doing like moonsaults and stuff. I was like,
yeah,
what? You remember, like,
I'm sorry for the quick shout out, apologies.
At the end when he pulled his straps down and like he'd been sweating so much, you could see like the condensation coming off of him, and that just showed like just how much effort he put in that match. Like, yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's the stuff he does. He has no like the stuff he does. Somebody of his size has no right to do it.
He's like, you remember like Samoa Joe, like back in the mid-noughties, and you were like, a guy of that size shouldn't be doing what he's doing. Like Keith Lee is like the next evolution of that.
Yeah. Like Ring of Honor champion Samoa Joe, like that run that he had and the matches he was doing were just like, it's like you shouldn't have the cardio that you have to do these matches. You shouldn't be doing half the things that you're doing and still be able to walk. So yeah, Keith Lee now is just immune to gravity, I feel.
He's the man that gravity is scared of. Right, should we do the women's title match?
Yeah, sure.
I suppose so. Well, we should have put on second.
Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. Yeah, well, it's second to last.
There's always a way to make it second.
Isn't that? Yeah, I'm sick of Charlotte Flair, so I'm hoping she doesn't win.
You know, I've got a little gripe about this match. I was really hoping this was going to be straight up Charlotte versus Io, and then, like, don't get me wrong, I do like Rhea, but I feel like adding her to the match has kind of, like, taken away from it a little, in that, like, now it's not, it was like Io's big time to shine against, like, the biggest name in women's wrestling, but now it's just like another match that she just happens to be in. If you know what I mean. Like, I was really looking forward to like a singles match between Charlotte and Io.
I feel as if that they were going to call her up and then change their mind. Now she's just been slotted into this thing between Io and Charlotte. I just hope they take the belt off Charlotte. There's been, like Mike said, she's been on Raw, NXT, and SmackDown for the last 2 months.
2 years.
I'm just bored of it.
But then at the same time, I believe she lives in Florida, so she's definitely very reliable. Like at the moment.
I know, but they can still hold off a little bit. Like, it does take the piss a little bit how often she's on TV. And also, I've just never been a big fan of it. Charlotte's fine. She's just my least favourite out of the 4. So
I think she'll keep it for a little while, and they'll keep it on until we get fans back, and that's when Rhea beats her. Because Charlotte owes Rhea a loss. So...
Yeah, I think Rhea would have beaten Charlotte at WrestleMania had it been in front of a crowd, and I kind of wonder if they did what they did because there wasn't a crowd. I don't think if it was in front of a huge stadium, I don't think Charlotte would have won.
Possibly.
But the big thing, Charlotte's there to put somebody over, try and help the ratings for now, and put over somebody down the line so that they become big enough to help carry that brand. So that's why I kind of see her hold on to it for a little bit longer, and I think they'll do the title change on TV.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because it's a way to get a big pop in the ratings, and that genuinely keep people coming back. But I'm surprised there's not more TV title changes on. Like title changes on TV, just because it keeps people on their toes.
Ah, there we go.
The black one, yeah.
Yeah.
Black and green, evil. Yeah.
I want Io to win the belt. Io's been much like Kyrie and Asuka. It's amazing. The 3 big Japanese stars have been some of the highlights of WWE TV over the last few months.
You know what's really impressed me is that I used to think Io, she's just kind of there, she's whatever. But then a couple of months ago, I was watching some takeover. I don't remember which takeover it could have been. Actually, I think it could have been the War Games possibly, and I was or maybe the one before the War Games. But I was oh my god, she's actually incredible.
She is, yeah. And again, it was another person that you'd never think could be a good heel. But she was the most, her turn was fantastic.
Rhys, looking up on YouTube, there's in Lucha Underground, Pentagon has a match against the Black Lotus Flower. Yeah. No, Black Lotus isn't it? It's Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, and Mayu Iwatani.
Yeah.
Well, a 1-on-3.
Yeah. Oh no, was it a gauntlet?
It was a gauntlet match.
It's absolutely insane. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'd highly recommend it.
All of the things, it's brilliant.
I think she actually jumped off herself at one point.
She jumped off Aerostar, who was being pushed off by Aerostar.
When Aerostar was on the Titantron or something.
Was that last year? That was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's one of my favourite things from last year. Aerostar being pushed off a platform by Aerostar.
Just the most unintentional, hilarious moment.
Nearly as funny
and then last year we also had him almost setting himself on fire at Strong Style.
Oh yeah, Super Strong Style. We were really far back, and we still... Actually, you were front row. We were really far back, and I was like, yep, Aerostar just set himself on fire. We could see it from about 10 rows back.
Bless him. He tried.
There we go, we got a triple threat match for the NXT Women's title. We're giving our thoughts. Who do you think is going to win?
I think Charlotte is going to win. I think she will drop the title to... that's why I'm kind of annoyed about Io not having the singles match, because I don't think Io is ever going to win, which is why if Charlotte was just going to win, it may as well be against just Io rather than Io and Rhea. I think Charlotte will drop the title to Rhea eventually once the crowds return, so Rhea can get her big moment, which I still think she would have got at WrestleMania, but yeah, for now I see Charlotte retaining.
It makes sense. I want her to win, but I have a feeling the Charlotte's just going to win because they love
I think Io's not going to get the push he should be getting, and he's going to go back to Japan.
Oh really? Because there was rumors a while ago about her, leaving and going back to Japan. But
Kyrie as well. Like after what's happened in the last few months, would anybody blame her for getting the fuck out of there?
Yeah, it's like one of those things when I was talking to Rich in the WhatsApp group, and he was like, we're talking about Adam Cole and like the rumors apparently being debunked that his contract's not up in August, and he was like, why would Adam Cole with his right mind leave the company? I'm like, in all fairness, if I could find a way out of that company right now, if I was any of them, I probably would.
Yeah, like it's not the it's not the funnest of environments I imagine to be in, especially when you look just in this current environment. So we've got all this stuff going on with coronavirus and everything. They are the other side. AEW is the other side of the state, and okay, they are fortunately positioned to do this, but they are fully testing everybody. And JR, for the whole month of May, was put up in an Airbnb in Jacksonville by AEW. He didn't pay a single penny for any of it because it would have been a detriment to his health potentially for him to travel back to Oklahoma and then back to Jacksonville. So they've gone out there, they've done all of that for all the guys, they've looked after them properly, and WWE are just testing temperatures. I think it's irresponsible at the best.
It is. It's one of those things. I was talking to my my friends about it. Well, who one of them used to watch wrestling, and the other one's just not a wrestling fan. She's often baffled by it. I think a riptide, but then Charlotte Flair just booted her in the anus.
Very Charlotte style, that is.
Toe right in the hole. And I was talking about it, and I was like basically saying, oh yeah, WWE are like making their trainees be in crowds, or they're in crowds and they're making them stand for 10 hours at a time, and like they're getting very limited breaks, and they've got to stand and cheer for like 10 hours while they're filming other shows. And he's like, oh, that's horrible. And I went, and the other company is letting their wrestlers relax, sit down, drink during the show, do whatever they want, safe distance, and testing everyone as they come through the door, so everyone knows that they're safe. And he's like, what company is this? I went, it's the company owned by my football club's chief exec.
Yep.
And it's just, it's one of those things. It's like, we talk about companies not covering themselves in glory. We had this chat before, and I don't really want to, like, bury certain companies. Rhea's absolutely just destroying Io and Charlotte. She's hit, like, 4 riptides. And we were discussing progress, because they're not exactly covering themselves in glory in the last month or two. So much so, I don't think I'm out of turn talking about what me and Mike discussed, where me and Mike are even discussing, like, are we going to be willing to give them money once everything comes back? Like, it's just feeling a little bit icky to give them money for wrestling when there's other places that we can do. And then we were talking to another friend of ours, and he was like, it's kind of weird that that Progress has got all this grief for staying silent on certain topics, whereas Fight Club Pro did the exact same thing and not got anything. But I was like, at the same time, have Fight Club Pro been called out for kind of potentially not having a certain section of wrestlers there? Meanwhile, Fight Club Pro have got like tag team champions and world champions of color and stuff. And it's not just about the wrestling. As much as I want it to be just about the wrestling, if some place ends up just seeming morally reprehensible or irresponsible, it does make you question where your money's going to go.
Do you know, the bit that like really kind of opened my eyes to this was a year ago actually, the last Super Strong Style, when in the Wasteman Challenge, when OJMO was rapping and he said to Roy Johnson, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was something along the lines of like,
about, you can go now, the quote is filled.
Exactly,
yeah,
and then
the black man quota.
And then I was like, that made me think of a time like, oh, actually, like, let me think back. And I was like, actually, it is really just those two. And, they're not on every show anyway. And that, back then, that got me thinking,
It's one of those things that, like, actually, I think OGMO shouted out, and he was talking about Battle Pro, and I've been a few times. We have some friends that have been a few times as well. And he was like, Battle Pro has like the most diverse roster of talent that's there, of all shapes, sizes, colours, whatever. And he's like, and it's not because they're filling the quota, it's because they just pick the best people, and the people that they pick to be certain things. And then you look at all, like, most promotions that you want to put money behind, they pick all sorts of certain people, and then you look at some promotions that are literally picking a certain group of a certain lot. Like, I don't want to get into too much, like, this place is this place is that, but it does make you think on, like, hidden agendas and stuff.
Yeah, it does. And I understand, there are going to be promotions that pick from a local school or a local crop of guys that are doing a lot, that have paid their dues to be involved in those shows. Because that's naturally going to happen, and you can't. You're going to want to give your talent the opportunity to be on shows over bringing somebody else in. Now, that makes total sense, that does. Because you're going to promote homegrown stars over just almost like bringing people in for the sake of it. But obviously, diversity is so important, but I just hate to feel if it was done for the sake of doing
to tick a box rather than the right person for the right job.
Yeah, like I've always had this issue with this is something that's kind of been on my mind a lot recently. So with everything going on, I kind of been thinking back to like the first like iconic sports moment that I remember would have been was that match over?
Charlotte's tap.
Yeah.
I think it's the match is elimination by default.
Gonna pick a new champion then.
So we will have a new champion, yeah.
So like the most iconic, like the first iconic sporting moment I remember is Nelson Mandela awarding the Rugby World Cup to Francois Pienaar in 1995. And at the time, I was 8 years old, didn't really understand why that was so enormous, and for like who Nelson Mandela was and everything he'd gone through, but also the sporting side of South Africa and how that had come through a lot. And South African sport still has black quotas, which I fundamentally I disagree with in professional sports like that, because we got 3 counts.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
He is the champ. He is the champ. Well, Matty got what he wanted.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's one of those. It's an interesting thing because you have like the Rooney Rule in NFL as well.
Yeah.
Which I think is one where it's like, she's like I can't remember the exact rule, but it's something just interesting you get very in depth about and very. I feel like we end up doing this. We end up coming to this thing to mess around and have a laugh. We end up getting into these in-depth conversations.
But
it's like a spoiler for TWM Live next week.
Yeah.
Not spoiler.
Where we're going to try and keep it light, and in the end, it's going to end up being question time, but wrestling.
They've been pushing for something very similar in the Premier League, right? Because I think if you consider like the number of Premier League players that are black compared to the number of coaches and managers, is completely disproportionate.
Yeah.
That makes sense to you, and I believe the Rooney Rule is the number of candidates from non-white backgrounds that you interview, which is. It's understandable, but as long as people are there on merit, that's kind of what I believe should be the fundamental thing. We all played sports growing up, and we all know that when you got to like representative teams, it was never a case of how good of a player you were. It was always about somebody knows the coach that picks the team.
The coach's son.
You've laughed, because you would have experienced it, being from Wales and playing rugby. You would have known all about it. I know enough. I firsthand saw enough stories that just still blows my mind to this day, 18 years later. But I would want to be picked on merit, because I was the player to play in that position. I was better than anybody else, or I was in the 3 best players in that position, which was how many they picked. You don't want to be there because you're like, oh, well, we picked those 2, but we've also need to put somebody else in because of this quota rule. It just kind of, I don't think it has the essence of what sport's supposed to be.
It's an interesting.
That's me.
I was going to say, shall I regale you of my glittering rugby career from the ages of 8 till 10?
Go on. Sidestep 6 players, 1 game.
I played. No, I was fucking terrible. I was terrible. I kept throwing the ball forward. We played tag rugby, and I was still a chubby kid. So we played tag rugby. We did one of the, they used to do like the big tournaments. We did ours in the Millennium Dome.
Yeah.
We did a big tag rugby tournament there. And we were Italy, and we were awful. I think we won our last game. That was it. And then we got into like full contact rugby in like year 6, and everyone thought, well, Matt's big. No, I'm a pussy. So of course I fucking duck out of every challenge. But what the best thing about it is we were like, our team was almost like the Renford Rejects of rugby.
Nice, solid reference.
Because we had like all the odds and ends, all the people that weren't good enough to play football went and played rugby. So it was we had like the nerdiest team, and the best thing about it is we had the one team that had a girl. No other team had a girl. We had a girl. And the only reason we had her is she was really small, but she was rapid,
really fast.
So yeah. all the boys would be terrified to tackle this like 3'0" girl, and she would just do them on pace. It was brilliant.
You love to see it.
And also, I successfully coached my the year 4 rugby team to the Islington Rugby Cup last term. So
nice.
All I did was I stuck the 2 cookies kids on the wings and told everyone to basically block everyone off and get the ball to them.
You can't block. You can't block. This isn't American football, Matthew.
I did. I basically played it like I was an NFL coach and was just screaming, going, run with it, and we just demolished. I just put the 2 quickest kids on the ball as possible, and no one stood a chance. It was the best thing ever. Anyway, this is meant to be. By the way, if you're doing all match, you might want to back out of this because it's meant to be a backlot match. So maybe we should make it some sort of death match.
What? A backlog?
It's a backlot brawl they're having.
Backlot brawl.
Maybe we can make it some sort of death match. Make it a landmine death match. Or barbed wire. Take your pick.
Well, this is what confused me, right? Because in the landmine death match, the ring is covered in barbed wire tables. But in the barbed wire death match, the ring is rigged with explosives.
Let's have the landmines. Do we have landmines into here?
Backwards land.
Mine land. This land is your land. This land is my land.
Excuse me while I take... it probably took me like 10 minutes to find the people...
I'm trying to think of other funny stories from me playing rugby.
Well, in my school, we had like maybe 6 or 7 people who were playing for Wales in that age group, and then a couple of county players, and then just the rest of the people were just like made up of who was available. And because we had like some really good players, like we got to the Welsh Cup final at one point, so like I played to quite a high level despite being absolutely awful.
It doesn't matter, as long as it's a team sport, you win as a team.
Well, yeah.
I once genuinely got incredibly angry at my own parents for cheering me on at a rugby game because I, in my words, thought they were being embarrassing.
Brilliant.
And I walked home in a strop. And my mum, why are you cheering so loud? It's embarrassing. I was like 9.
No. I didn't even play for that long. I played for Cardiff, under 15 level, but I literally played for like 4 years. Like pretty much played from year 8 onwards in high school and then stopped playing. But, yeah,
I once legitimately, this is in school, I once was reduced to tears by the music teacher because I ducked out of choir practice to go to rugby practice and got bollocked verbally.
Oh, well.
in front of the whole rugby team and just burst into tears. I was like in year 5. The bloke was a prick.
Idiots.
Main event time.
Idiots.
Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole. It could be a backlot brawl, but sometimes backlots have landmines, so we're gonna make it a landmine deathmatch for the NXT Championship.
Backlock is in like car park or?
Yeah. So I think basically what they've said it's going to be like, you know, JBL and Cena had the parking lot brawl.
I was Eddie and Cena that.
No, yeah, JBL and Cena did one as well.
Okay, yeah.
And it's going to be like that. But of course there'll be barbed wire. This is a weird one because obviously Adam Cole has beaten Velveteen Dream.
Correct.
For the NXT title recently.
Mm.
So, and perhaps that might have been beaten due to outside factors. We don't know what the case is because that's all gone very, very quiet. So we have no idea what's actually happened there. So we can't really comment on that.
Although you have to think if something was happening, he wouldn't be, you know, main eventing the show. Right? You'd have thought they'd have pulled him.
Yeah, that's kind of the sensible choice to look at. If that would happen, he wouldn't be on TV. But there's two things to note. Number one, never forget the awful edit job NXT did on the Velveteen Dream hit an elbow from the outside to the floor. Hilarious. One of the worst edits I've ever seen on a major TV show.
I'm not being funny. I could edit better than that.
Yeah. You probably could. Go find that clip and edit it better for them.
I might do that, actually.
And also, the likelihood that Dexter Lumis is going to turn up and either kidnap the Undisputed Era...
Oh. Wow.
There's a landmine.
The dream has exploded.
Either kidnap the Undisputed Era or cost Velveteen Dream the title.
No, I just think Dexter Lumis was a really big fan of the Magic School Bus and he wanted to go on there with the Undisputed Era.
Right, hold on. Mike, you watched NXT this week.
I did.
Just double check. Was there a did I dream this? Or was there a vignette where Velveteen Dream looked in a mirror and he saw Prince?
I don't remember there was that.
I mean, it's something. It was early, you know, in the UK. Watching NXT is like what 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Is something along those lines happened? But I'm not quite. I was also watching AEW at the same time.
This, because
if it was during the Prime Target stuff, I just skipped all of it.
Yeah, I couldn't bother to get my phone and fast forward. Let me just hold on. I'm gonna have to look at this. Yes, he did apparently. He commuted with the ghost of Prince. Also, weird thing. Oshigoroshi.
Look how busted open the Dream is now. You see the crimson mask.
The Dream has no memory of falling into the landmine. No. Oh, by the way, I actually was going to mention this. Someone mentioned it online, and I found out. You know, those zoo bars you can buy them in the UK now without having to ship them.
Oh,
they are available. They are available on Amazon for 22 quid.
We need to go to a show wearing them.
I'm not gonna lie, I heard someone say they're ridiculously comfortable. They're like wearing a cloud.
Can we get Ribera steak jackets as well?
I think they're hot. I don't think
you can't buy them. I know that. You can't buy them. You get given them if the guy that runs the place thinks you're worthy of them. Yeah, hint hint, Chuck Taylor. Batista is still annoyed at you.
This is the whole Gino Gambino, the tracksuit thing again, isn't it?
Oh, Gino. What a man.
Let's get Gino on this. Let's get Gino on the stream. We've got people who want to get on the stream.
I'd love to just... If I go to Japan and go to New Japan shows, Gino's like probably top of the list that I'd love to meet. Because I just want to go... I'd just like, Gino, can we go for food after the show? I'll pay. That's all good on me.
You'll be a sponsor.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they don't like being called sponsors. That's the thing. But yeah, like it sounds like that after the shows, Kevin Kelly, Chris Charlton, and Gino just go for burgers. I was like, that's like perfect. I'd love to go.
In fairness, we are. I know we've not spoken a while, but we are on speaking terms with Mr. Chris Charlton, so
That's
it's
true.
not out of the realm of possibility. We've watched it back. We should.
Yeah, I've just got to get to Japan.
Well, do you see Japan possibly subsidising half of all trips to Japan to help encourage tourism?
I have seen that.
Me and Mike will be if we can line up with Wrestle Kingdom. Me and Mike will be there.
Yeah.
Because the tickets for Wrestle Kingdom are really cheap. It's just getting there that's really expensive.
Yeah, you can rock up on the day and buy them, right, Mike?
Oh, right, no. But I looked up online how much. Like really good tickets at Wrestle Kingdom are like 40 quid. It's really cheap. Like compared to like obviously Mania. Like I imagine being right down the front is probably a couple of hundred. But you're not looking anywhere near like.
What, right down the front for Mania?
No, right down the front for Wrestle Kingdom.
I was going to say, because Christ, you're a couple of grand.
Well,
yeah. Whereas Wrestle Kingdom, I think might be a couple of hundred quid.
Lawson sat front row at Mania 31, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The
Santa Clara.
Rollins cashing in this Sting Triple H match.
Yeah.
That one.
Wow. I was talking about Adam Cole. I thought we went in. Obviously, there's been rumours that he was meant to his contract up, and we've had a lot of chat about this because it's been denied and then denied again. It looks like that he's signed a deal in like this past winter for 3 years, but it's still rumour. We don't know for definite.
Well, you can't possibly know like really. There's only like a handful of people that do know, and everything else beyond that is speculation. So. Yeah, that's kind of why, like, I don't get involved in the whole wrestling news and rumors side of things because I feel like something like that you can't possibly know.
Yeah, it's one of those things like
unless they announce it outright.
Yeah, unless they openly announce it. But
oh, we got a new champion.
So Adam Cole's going to AEW then.
Baby.
Adam.
There's the confirmation you speak of.
But one of those things is to mention about that is, like I said, in this current climate, if Adam Cole was like, well, I could be here, or I could go to a company that's going to test me, pay me well, look after me, and I'll be with my friend. I'll be with my friends regardless, but I'll also be with my girlfriend at the same time.
And I'll be brought back from the dead.
And I'll be brought back from the dead. Like for me, if that deal came up, I wouldn't be shocked if he ended up going over to AEW because I'm like, if you could be like, well, be in this place where the rumours are to be believed that the morale isn't actually that great. At best, it isn't great. At worst, apparently it's through the floor. Or go to a place where everyone seems to be really enjoying themselves. They're looked after well, and they've got a boss that has some foibles. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I love Tony Khan, but he really needs to get his opinion off of not having an agenda wrestling on his shows, but that's a minor thing.
I think though the intergender thing is not. Personally, I believe if he had the option, like he would do it. Like he's a big wrestling fan. Like he knows. I like to think he knows more about like wrestling and whatnot. It's the sponsors when it comes to intergender wrestling, which is the same reason why WWE shy away from it. Perhaps not as big of an issue for Impact because they're a smaller company and probably in terms of their revenue stream are less reliant on the sponsors.
I think Impact aren't going to lose their TV deal because the company that owns the TV station. They bought the TV station so they could actually be on there, basically. So Impact,
I love that Rhys literally came at that with a full TEW mindset as well.
Oh, it's just the whole. Well, it's something I saw like a while back. It's just like the sponsors do not like it. They see intergender wrestling as like domestic abuse kind of thing, which like it's not at all. Like it's a fictional TV show, like really.
Yeah, it's just an interesting thing to look at.
I think the thing with Adam Cole, do you know why I think he'll go to AEW? One simple reason. He will go to AEW on his way in. The Bucks will call him into the office and Tony Khan, and they'll be like, Adam or Austin, you're no longer going to be Adam Cole. There's only one gimmick you can be. You'll be Cool Dad, Don Crenshaw.
Don Crenshaw. Here's your cargo pants. Tie your hair up. You only let it down when you're at the lake. Oh, what a way to end the stream.
And at Fighter Fest, he gives all the kids beer.
That won't go wrong at all.
Don't tell your parents, kids.
Although, if we are talking fantasy booking, could like a undisputed era, like if the rest of a faction left as well, undisputed era versus the elite.
It would be amazing. Imagine if they radicals it and they all turned up in AEW.
Well, surely
it'd be amazing.
Cole, O'Reilly, and Roberto Barracuda, Roberto Barracuda, are out at the same time because they all came in at the same time, didn't they?
You'd think so, yeah.
Possibly, but then again, no one knows. We are not in the inner workings. We are not in the inner circle, be it AEW or WWE. So,
sadly
I think we're all done here. We've gone through the whole card, so you haven't got to watch NXT tomorrow. You can just follow what we do because we told you what's going to happen. Rhea's winning the belt back. Velveteen Dream's winning the title. Keith Lee's retaining the North American title.
Ciampa's going over Cross.
Ciampa's going over Cross.
And we hate tag teams.
Yes. If you want to keep across all the things we're doing for NXT TakeOver, TWM.news, we've got the predictions up there right now. We'll also have results and a review coming up. TWM Wrestle on all our platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and Twitch are all at TWM Wrestle. We're doing some big changes, obviously, over the next week. TWM will officially, you might see it on little bits and bobs here, will officially become the wrestling movement, and we've got some new things coming up. We've got TWM Live starting next Saturday. So be here 5 PM next Saturday. It's going to be a 3-hour-long stream discussing the week in wrestling, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, Impact, and news, and we're just going to play some games. We're going to mess around. It's going to be a lot of fun. Potentially New Japan as well.
You say 3 hours. It's going to be like what, 5 or 6 hours at the minimum.
Mate, I am the king of keeping things to a strict time. I will make sure that it is fun for all the family.
Have you heard how long me and you podcast for?
I will make sure. I will move heaven and or earth. But yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. We'll be back. I think next week. I think we're going to do just Thursday and a Friday because we have TWM Live on the Saturday, and we are and we'll be Backlash. That's what I was going to say. I couldn't think of the flipping word. Backlash. Yeah.
But WrestleMania was like 3 months ago. How can it possibly be Backlash now?
It's very true, that is.
Because there is no concept of time anymore, my friend. There is no concept of time. So yeah, join us for then. We're going to do a Backlash simulation and placeholder predictions. So join us then. Thank you very, very much. For Rhys, at Rhys on Wrestling. For Mike, go find him on farmersonly.com. I'm Matty, at MattyID. We are TWM Wrestle. Go follow us. Thank you much. Thank you much. Also, thank you to Hailstorm Freak and Alex Pyrrhus for the follow. I believe we are. I'm going to have a look.
Oh, Alex Pyrrhus follows me as well. What a top guy.
I want to see how close are we to getting our big 5-0 and getting our fifth affiliate. Hey,
our numbers are good. Our average viewers are good. Our stream time is good. It's just for followers now. In the words of Mr. Scott Steiner, the numbers don't lie. But they do not spell disaster for us at sacrifice.
I think you mean the isn't the numbers don't lie actually from the Royal Rumble promo?
Yes. I'm trying to figure out how to check how many people are following.
47 we're on.
Oh, we're 47. Thank you. So we're 3 away from affiliate. So thank you very, very much. And now we're going to go into the awkward period where Rhys has to try and find the button.
Well, I'm not pressing the button until we get 50 followers. So if you're watching, there's
we're gonna sit here and you're gonna wait.
Oh, I've clicked the wrong button. I can't remember how to do it. Oh, stop. Okay, this is it.